what is happening right now is that there's surplus COVID money. And what does Joe Biden want to do with the surplus COVID money? He wants to give it to cops. President Biden will urge states and cities to use unspent money from last year's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package to fund crime prevention programs and hire police officers. Okay, hiring cops, I know this is going to sound counterintuitive, does not prevent crime. They've proven this. You need cops. You have to have cops. You need to have someone to call when someone's breaking into your house or someone has a gun at a gas station. You need cops. I'm not saying you don't need cops. I'm saying, but adding more cops doesn't equate to less crime. That just isn't how it works. If it just doesn't work that way. What reduces crime? How about if people aren't in debt? How about if people can make a living wage? How about if people don't go bankrupt when they get sick? How about if people have they aren't burdened with student debt? There's a million things that cause poverty. That cause crime. Poverty is a big one. Lack of anyway. So if you want to lower crime, you'd be much better off with a jobs program than with more cops. Would you agree with that, Jackson?
I'd 100% agree with that. And it's just insane that they're doing this right now when Joe Biden's created the largest economic crisis of my lifetime. I think this is going to be worse than 2008.
I agree with you. They're literally planning to manage coming civil unrest rather than actually solve anything, aren't they? That is exactly what they're doing. So Joe Biden isn't going to give you a $2,000 check. Joe Biden isn't going to give you a minimum wage or a living wage. Joe Biden isn't going to let you keep you out of prison because of marijuana. Joe Biden isn't going to give you health care. Joe Biden isn't going to give you a jobs program. Joe Biden isn't going to do anything to help your life get better. And so they know this. And so what do they know? There's going to be unrest. There's going to be more crime. And so what are they going to do? Well, they're going to, instead of addressing those root causes of the crime, they're going to just give you more cops and more jails. We all know this is a failed strategy. The United States incarcerates more people than China per capita. I think even in gross terms too, right? In the gross numbers. Can you look it up? How many people in prison in China? How many people in prison in the United States? I wouldn't be surprised if there's more people in prison in the United States, just raw numbers. But definitely we're the world's largest penal colony, the United States. So we can keep locking up more and more people. It doesn't solve the crime problem. That's a fact. Just like all those over-policing they did in New York City with the broken windows theory didn't actually lower crime because crime was being lowered in every city across the country at the same time. And it hadn't. So what were you going to say?
2 million people in the U.S., 1.7 million in China.
So there's billion. Yeah. They have, 3-4 billion people in China?
Yeah.
We have 300 million. We incarcerate more people in the United States with 300 million people in our population. They have 3 billion. I don't know. Is that 300% more?
1.4 billion.
They have 1.4 billion people in China.
They have like 3 to 4 times as many people.
Isn't that amazing? So they have, 4 times as many people, 400% more people in China. We still imprison more people than them. And they're supposed to be the oppressive dictatorship, right? They're supposed to be the oppressive communist regime, which they are in a lot of ways. But they don't incarcerate their people. They give more freedom in that sense than we do. Could one sentence encapsulate how much Democrats don't listen to their constituents any more than this one? This sentence that they're going to give more money to the cops instead of giving it to people? Hey, but don't be surprised. Even Newsweek knows that Joe Biden said he would do this. He said he would do this, and people stood up and applauded. Watch.
We should all agree the answer is not to defund the police. It's to fund the police. Fund them. Fund them.
That's Kevin McCarthy. He's getting applause by applause by the Republicans and the Democrats. It's a uniparty. Fund them. So that's why they're showing them. These are all the crazy nut Republicans that they say tell you are crazy nuts, except they're in lockstep with Joe Biden. And Joe Biden's in lockstep with them. You want to see how much money they spend on cops? Look at it. It keeps going up and up and up from Obama. From Obama, look at all that money. So in 2017, he was spending 1.6, so that's like $2.6 billion on cops. Trump was spending about $3. It keeps going up, up, up. Biden's way more. Look at this, 1.2 plus 2.7. That's 3. That's around, what is that, around 4? I don't know. I can't do math. But there it is, billions and billions of dollars thrown at cops. And this is the amount of money that they transferred from the military in equipment to local cops. The big year was Barack Obama right here. And they keep doing it. So let's be clear, adding police is not a crime prevention strategy. It's the same tired approach to advancing public safety through enforcement, imprisonment, and punishment. The outcome's always more Americans of color get locked up and more poor communities are destabilized while crime persists. That's always what happens. You want to help communities? Bring drug prevention, meaning drug treatment. Give them a jobs program. Those are the two huge things. This is how the Democratic Party does anti-blackness. Black people are twice as likely to be hospitalized and twice as likely to die due to COVID. And yet Biden wants money to be reallocated away from COVID relief and towards law enforcement, which surely targets black people. So instead of giving those people aid, he's going to put them in jail because of COVID. Because now we got extra COVID money, apparently. We'll use it to block up more black people, COVID, which also is worse has been decimating the black community worse. At some point, we're going to have to discuss the fact that Biden is trying to ensure no Democrat is ever elected again. Because isn't that what that seems like is happening, Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, when I see that they're diverting funds away from the COVID cash to, the DOJ, it just smells weird. Like I see that we've spent tens of millions of dollars on the Mueller investigation. We're going to spend tens of millions of dollars on these January 6th investigations, the largest, prosecutorial campaign that the U.S. has ever led. It seems like they're just trying to continue to fund these conspiratorial prosecution campaigns against people that they don't like, people that the deep state doesn't like in this country, and now they have to pay off the debt for it.
I love the response to herself down here. Says, if he were a Republican plant, meaning Biden, if Biden were a Republican plant trying to destroy the party from within, I don't know what he would be doing differently. I agree. There's 6 million children in America that live in poverty. 60,000 families with children are homeless. But yeah, spend that extra $2 trillion on cops. The Democratic Party will never care about you. You are a number, a statistical tendency to them. The democratic process is just a way to involve you in your own subjugation. They'll always be above you, shoving your nose in the dirt for having a life that didn't fit their models. Holy shit, that's well said. They're doing this because they have no plans to stop the waves of fascist legislation and merely want to quell the reactions of people outraged at the U.S. government trying to exterminate them, by the way. That's right. I feel like if I saw this on the news, this idea that Biden's going to give COVID relief not to people, but give it to cops, to people, and put more people in jail. I feel like if I saw this on the news when I was a kid, and at that time was a liberal or apolitical, I would have instantly become an anarchist. How do people accept this? I don't know. But if you don't accept it, people are going to call you a nihilist. So accepting this, according to gaslighters on YouTube and in the corporate media, if you don't accept this, then you're a nihilist. That's what they'll tell you. If you don't accept this from Joe Biden and the Democrats, you're a nihilist. Down here, we live in a society of servile bugs who care more about conforming to the will of the authorities than they care about their freedom or even their own survival. And there's no revolution that's going to change that because abuse works on people. That's right. America is like we're I've said this many times. We're a country full of adult children of alcoholics. We don't get angry at the people abusing us. We get angry at the people who point out that someone's abusing us. Shut up. We do not need more police. We need criminal justice reform. Those who are in prison are great mentors for the next generation. Exactly. Chris Hedges will tell you that. He teaches inside of a prison. Has more officers ever been good? No, the answer is no. Next, you will say there will be more mandatory minimums. Yeah, this isn't why people voted for you. That's exactly right. I have a feeling that the new messaging, if the COVID doesn't kill you, a bullet will, is not going to go over well. Well said, Wendy Muse. Bianca Bluecheck says Democrats don't respect the people who put them in office. I think we should explore a parliamentary system. I think we should explore it. Explore? What do you mean explore? I'm with her on the sentiment, but I don't think we need to explore it. We need to implement it. We know it would be better. 100% better. Conservatives think this guy is a communist. That's the funniest part, isn't it, Jackson? Yeah. That you will turn on Fox News and they'll say that Joe Biden is a communist, meaning he's super lefty and anti-capitalist. This is unbelievable. He's a right-wing authoritarian anti-worker. That's what Joe Biden is. And here's another one. Yes, crime should be prevented, but the last time Biden was in charge of prevention, more black men were locked up than those enslaved in 1850. Holy shit. This is truly effing evil. I really don't have any words. They're just getting ready for people to snap. They've given up on attempting to solve any problems. They're prepared to watch all of us starve, get sick, and die in the streets before they lift a finger to help us. Democrats, it's just not working out between us. There were some good times, but we want different things. I'm at a point in my life where I want a party that shares my values. Take care. That's how I feel. And I'm sure that's how everybody who watches this show feels. And I'm sure that's how the majority of people in the United States feel. So now we got to do it. You got to make the break from the Democratic Party, and you have to stop voting for them. And the Republicans, too. That goes without saying. But the Republicans don't pretend to be on my side. The Democrats do. They pretend to speak up for the disenfranchised. They pretend to speak up for people of color. They pretend to speak up for women. They don't do any of that shit. They speak up. They give lip service to all those people, and then they legislate against those people in favor of the corporation and the billionaire class. And let's remember what Julian Assange said. Every time we witness an injustice and do not act, we train our character to be passive in its presence and thereby eventually lose all ability to defend ourselves and those we love. So that's what this is. This is an injustice. This is taking money that was meant to help poor black and brown people from COVID, and it's being used to put them in prison. This is great. When you voted for Biden and refused to look at what he's doing. So that's what I'm trying to do at this show. I'm trying to do this metaphorically. I'm trying to make people look at what Joe Biden is doing. I'm trying to make people who call themselves Biden bros, such fucking children. It's fucking sophomoric, moronic bullshit. I'm a Biden bro today. Look at what he's doing, you cuck. Look at what he's doing, you cuck on purpose. Anything you want to add to this, Jackson?
Join the People's Party. Ditch the Democrats.
Yes. stop definitely donating and voting for the two-party duopoly. That's for frickin' sure. We're doing live stand-up shows in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Omaha, Kansas City, Las Vegas, all over the country. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for tickets. And single tickets now available at all venues. So if you tried to buy one before and you couldn't, single tickets are now available. Plus, while you're at jimmydorcomedy.com, why don't you become a premium member? Sign up to our mailing list so when they cancel us, we can still stay in touch.